Hey everyone, this is Jillian Graham, and in this tutorial, I'm going to just give you an overview of Google Sites. So I'm just going to show you the Google site that I created for the next school year. I've just started using Google Sites, but I'm going to show you some of the different features of Google Sites that I used to create this. Once you know the basics of Google Sites and the features that it has available, you can personalize your site however you want. So first, I'm just going to show you my site and some of the things that I added. So here's my site. This is my homepage. I just used one of the templates or themes that Google Sites has, and I changed the background color or the background image to something that looked like school colors. And I really liked the clean look of it. And then my tabs keep that same look as I go from tab to tab, but you can change each tab if you wanted to. So on my home page, I just started off with this. I'm not really sure what all I'm going to add here, but I set that up. Then I added some different documents down here. I thought this might be good if you had like a letter to parents, you could put that here, or like a supply list. We don't really do that at the high school level, but you could put like a supply list right here. I put it all in my syllabus, but just showing you an option that you could do. And then on my About tab, I have information about the website, about me. This is actually an image carousel. So I'll show you how to insert one of those. Look at my cute little adorable toddler. And then my schedule. So these are actually images. I wanted to use some of my fancy fonts that I have purchased. So I created this in PowerPoint, snipped it, so it's just an image, and then inserted it in here. And then my contact and my social media. So these, if I click on this, it will open up to send me an email. So if a parent is on here, they can open it up and email me. And then I have my Instagram I linked here, and my Twitter I linked to this image as well. At the bottom, I have a footer, and that's on every page, and that's just our high school with the address and the phone number. Then I have an individual page for each class. So these are called buttons. I added a button that links to the syllabus, and I actually created a subpage so they could get to it here. But in case they didn't see that drop down arrow or they're just not familiar with how this works, if they clicked on the class, then they have these buttons. I also put a button for Google Classroom, Remind, and their online textbook codes that they have to sign in to get access to, because I want my website to be public so that parents can access it. I did have to restrict some things on my website. Obviously, I don't want my Google Classroom code to be publicly available. I also can't give public access to our textbook that our district has purchased. So I just created a button to that, and then students have to sign in for this, and then they'll see the codes here when I add them. And then for the syllabus and the pacing guides, these are linked to the subpages. And the syllabus doesn't have any codes in it or anything. I actually took those out for this because I wanted parents to be able to access the syllabus as well. So this is just a Google Doc that I have added from my drive, and it opens up. I made it full size, and it opens up nicely on all devices. And then same thing for Calculus Honors, I have the same thing. And then Pacing Guide, I added from my drive. That way, if I make any changes to this, it will update it. And then these links in here, this is a video link. That is a video of me teaching, so I have no problem with public accessing those. And then this is a video, or this is just a PDF of what they need. But to get this, they would have to log in to have access to that. So I have restricted certain links to make this so I can still share the website publicly, if that makes sense. I also like to share some Google Classroom tutorials with my students, so I created a page for that as well. And these just link to different videos that they can watch if they need help with using Google Classroom. And then I also created a resources page with different links. So this is a quick access for parents or students. Usually students have the app, but if parents want to, if they're on my website and they just want to check their grades, they can get to PowerSchool quickly from there. And I linked some other resources as well. And then I wanted to show you one more thing. I created a demo page for this video specifically to show you how you could change the header to a different image if you wanted to include your Bitmoji or somewhat of a scene. Google Sites is kind of finicky because it grabs the middle part of your image. So I have a Google Slide template that I'll link in the video if you're interested. But basically, this is the space that you want to use for desktop view. And I'll show you the different views, but as long as you keep your design in that space, which is what I did for this, it has, it shows just this and no white space. Otherwise, it's going to show a bunch of white space. Like if there was nothing here and there was nothing here, and it was just, if you just cropped it down to this size, it just looks funny on mobile and tablet view. It just is weird. So there's also different formats that you can use for this. Like this is just the regular banner size, but there's different sizes that you can do too. So it just depends on how you want to personalize it. You may have to play with it a little bit. And then I embedded a Google slide so you can see, and I have a separate video on this, but I embedded this Google slide and I hid the navigation bar. This is only one slide, so it doesn't really matter, but it just looks nice. And then these are actually linked to the Google Classroom assignment. So here's the Google Classroom assignment. Obviously, this is pulling up in my teacher account, but it would pull up in their student account. If you go to the main page and click on the three dots here, you can copy the link to that, and that's the link that you would use in your slide to link to a Google Classroom activity. These are like drag and drop activities that I wanted them to have a copy of, so I just linked to them. So I am personally not going to do this. I am not going to post my agenda on my website every day because I post it in Google Classroom every day. But if you had something like a Bitmoji virtual classroom that you wanted them to have access to all the time, like a sensory room or a mindfulness room or something, maybe just a unit specific room, like a unit review room or something, and you wanted to post that once a week or something like that. You could do it this way. You could insert it like this. Or if you had your All About Me or Meet the Teacher, as a Google slide, this would be a great way to put it on your website. So you could put it on your homepage if it was the beginning of the year, or you could put it in the About section and just add another section right here and embed that Google slide. All right, so let's get started. Let me show you how to make all of this stuff. So if you don't have a website currently, you can go to sites.google.com/new. You can also go to the waffle and click on sites and make a new site that way. And I'm just going to make a blank one starting from scratch and just show you the different ways that you can personalize your website, just the ins and outs of it, because it's very user-friendly, but it's a little bit tricky. So first of all, you might want to change your image. So you can change your image. You can upload a specific image that you want. Again, these are really finicky. You'll have to play with it. Or use that slide, this slide site, Google site template that I have. So select an image. So what I did was I just looked in here. I like these colored ones, and then I just picked one that was similar to our school color, which was this one. And it is going to adjust it for readability. If you use one of the ones that is um, a Google image that's already in here, then it'll look nice. But if you use like a Bitmoji Classroom or something, you can turn that off if you wanted it to take off that layer, that dark layer. The overlay isn't as bad as it is on Google Classroom, but you may want to take it off anyway. So for instance, on this page, mine was already pretty bright, but if I turn that on, it kind of makes it not look great. So I just turned it off for that one page, and then the rest of them, um, I left them on because it looked great with it on. So sometimes it'll look good with it on, sometimes off. Okay. All right, so for the title, you can select a specific theme that you want to use. So I used this one, and then I just had my title. So Mrs. Graham's classroom. And then let's say you want to make it wider, and then you want to center it. So there's these little toggles on the side to expand it, and then this little handle at the top, you can grab it, and then you can tell it where to go. And this one's just going to center it right there because of how big it is. Actually, I don't, oh, this is the one I used. Sorry, I didn't use that one. I used this one. I liked the line under it. And then what I did was I changed the line to our school color. I did customize it. So you can use the hex code down here if you want to use a specific color. So I just got the hex color for a yellow that was used on our school website that I really liked, and then changed it there. So you can customize it by going to the paint bucket. Let's not do that. All right. So now if I just want to add something to my main page, I can double click in this area here, and then it gives me options to add an image, upload an image, upload from my drive, or to embed. Okay. You can also get to that here. So your insert menu is probably what you're going to use the most. You can insert all of those different items. These are the ones that were around that wheel when I double clicked right here. Those are the same options. And then over here, there's different layouts that you can choose. And then you can still edit those layouts however you want. There are options down here: collapsible text, table of contents, image carousel. You saw that one on my website. Buttons I use a lot, dividers, all kinds of different things. Okay, so let's just grab a layout and show one of these. So let's say I add a layout. This I can add an image to. So let's say I want to upload an image from my computer. This one I used. So I just saved this from my Bitmoji extension by right-clicking on the Bitmoji. I right-clicked on it, save image as. Okay, so I saved my image to my computer, and then I just uploaded it here. Now notice you can't see all of her, so I'm going to take these toggles and I'm going to drag it until I like how it looks. Okay. I can also crop it and uncrop it. So if I crop it, I can drag it within the box, and then I can zoom in or zoom out to how I want it. And then if I want to redo it, I just uncrop it. Or undo it, I uncrop it. And then let's add text. So, welcome. Now you can change the text. You can change it to normal. You can change it to a title. You can change it to a heading, and you can change it to a subheading. Okay, so however you want it to look. And then there's a text box under here, so You can just type a message in here, um, some kind of welcome message that you want. Okay. So the layouts are nice because it gives you like a nice look. Let's say you wanted to do another layout down here, and maybe you don't want it all to look the same, so you can drag this to the other side and kind of reverse the look. So these aren't static layouts. It's just giving you kind of set or just options that you can play around with. Okay? That way you don't have to start from scratch on everything. All right, so now the footer. Add a footer is very simple. You just add the footer and you type in whatever you want down there, and it'll be on the footer of every page. Okay? Now, I don't have any pages yet up here, so let's add another page. So let's say you got your welcome page started, add another page. So you could put your About Me on your main page. I wanted to do a separate one, so you could add a new page, title it, and then you can add different information. So let me just show you how I added an image carousel. So I'm going to go back to Insert, do a layout. For my text right here, I deleted that. So if you want to delete it, you can hit the trash can. Right, and I added an image of my name. I have like an email signature that I just added. So I'm going to insert my email signature, and I'm just going to move it. I don't want it to be below this text box. I actually want it to be above the text box. So I'm going to just select the text box. So that's the text box. That's both. Click again. Now I'm just on the email signature. I'm going to move it up so you can see where this blue line is. It's going to put it above that text box. Perfect. And then I can resize this if I wanted to make it a little bit smaller. And then I could put my blurb, about me right here in this text box. And then let's say I wanted to add an image carousel. So I'm going to go down to I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go down to Image Carousel. And you have to have at least 2 images. So I'm going to upload my images from my computer. Okay, it does take a little while for them to load, so I actually just only loaded 2. So here is the image carousel I've just inserted. And I actually want it beside my name, so it inserted it down here. So I'm going to go up, I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to move this up. And then I can't see the whole picture, so I'm going to click on this again and use the toggles to expand it. Maybe make it like that. It's kind of big, but do what you want. There you go. All right, so now notice though, I can't toggle through the photos and see how each photo looks. I actually have to go to preview this. So if I click up here, it shows like a computer and a phone, and it actually will show you how your website looks on a computer, a tablet, and a phone. So here's how it's going to look on the computer, and now the functionality is there. I can click next to see the next photo. And I can also see, like, I don't really like how this is laying out. I want to change the way that looks. But you can also view it how it looks on a tablet, and then how it's going to view on a phone. Okay, so that gives you all your views. And then you want to hit Exit Preview. Don't close out of this window, because this is still your website that you're dealing with. So hit this X to close out of Preview. And then I'm going to move this over a little bit, and maybe even make it a little bit bigger. And then once I have some text in there, I can play with that as well, but that gives you an idea of how to do that image carousel and kind of playing with the layout. And then you can add more pages, you can add sub-pages. So let's say I want to add a new page now for a specific class. So let's say I'm making one specifically for one of my subjects. And then on their page, I'll show you how I did the buttons. So I added a button. You just go to Insert Button. And then I want to name the button, and I want to add a link. So if you want to just link to a document, so let's say I'm going to link to the pacing guide. So pacing guide, I would grab that link and I would put it in here. Let me grab that real quick. Okay, so I just grabbed that link. It is an anyone can view link because I want parents to be able to view this as well. So now my button is there, and you can just use the toggles to drag it to however size you want. And then you can even say click here for pacing guide if you wanted to add that on there. And then if I go to preview, I can click on it again to open that up. So the link to the button is anyone can view, but links that are in here that link to curriculum stuff that is not, I can't share with the public, those links are set to anyone in the district. So students have to log in to see those. But it still gives, it's great for tutors that want to see what our schedule is, or parents that want to see when their kid has a test or a quiz. I just restrict the links in this rather than restricting the link to the actual pacing guide itself. Okay. All right, so now another thing I can do with a button, let me go out of preview mode, is link to a sub page. So let's say I actually wanted the pacing guide to be on another page, so to get to it from here. So I'm going to go to Pages, and on the Algebra 2 Honors page, I'm going to click these three dots, and I'm going to click on Add Sub Page, and we're going to call that Pacing Guide. Okay, and then I'm just going to insert the pacing guide right here. So I'm going to insert it from my drive. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it bigger so I can drag it out and I can drag it down. And by dragging it down, it kind of fills in that black space. And then it's already centered. So there we go. So now there's a big version of it right here, so they don't have to click on the button to open it up. Now I can go back and change the button if I wanted to. And instead of linking to the PDF or the Google slide, I can link to the subpage. So you can see down here, I can link to a page in the site. So I want to link to the pacing guide subpage. So I'll show you what that does. So instead of opening the Google slide from this link, it opens the page with the Google slide that is already in here. So it stays within this browser rather than opening, or within this page rather than opening up another tab. Okay, so that's really nice. All right, so I'm going to go back to this page right here, and I'm just going to play around with another template so I can show you something else. So let's see. I'm going to add this template here. So this is what I did on my resource page. So I added an image. I just found an image like the PowerSchool logo off the internet and added that. And then what you can do is link to it. So you can get the website link. Just make sure you get the link for your specific district. It's not just powerschool.com. Okay, there's a specific one they have to go to. Or, I mean, a lot of people don't use PowerSchool, so you may be linking other things. Just make sure you link straight to what parents need or students need. And then click Apply. So now, let me show you. This big button links to PowerSchool. And then if you wanted, underneath, there's already a text box here. I actually don't want that big heading right there. The symbol, I think, speaks for itself. It even says PowerSchool at the bottom. So I'm going to delete that text box. But then this one you might want to use, you know, to just say we call it parent portal. So they know what it's linking to or something. Okay? And you can do the similar things with these. The other thing I wanted to show you, let me go to About. So down here I had created my, here's my website. I did my schedule as a picture. So I'm just show you how to do that. So on here, I added a text box and I changed it to heading and then change that. And then I'm going to center this. And then I want to upload an image here. So I just created a picture of my schedule in PowerPoint, and then I just snipped it and saved it. So it's going to be with my other stuff. I need to organize all this. All right, so I just inserted that, and then I'm going to drag it to make it bigger. And then I'm going to make sure it's centered. So you just grab it and notice how it's showing me in blue where it's going to land. And there we go. For my contact information, I did one for that too. I'm going to add text. I'm going to make this a heading, center it. And for this, what I did the same way. I uploaded an image. So I added one for my Instagram, and then I did one for Twitter as well. And I actually went to image, and then I did a Google image search, and I just searched for Gmail. And I grabbed one of these. And then I also did the same for Outlook. I just used that Google image search instead. And then if you don't find one you want, like this one is specific to me, so I had to upload that one separately. But if you find one that you want to use that's not in a Google image search, you can still just save it to your computer. Like if it's a picture of a Bitmoji you want to link to or something, you can do it that way. All right, so then what I did was I just clicked on this link, and then I did mail to, and then I typed in my email address. And then when I click on that, that is going to send an email to me. And then this one, I just linked to my Instagram, and I put that link, I went and grabbed that link and put that in there. Okay. So that covers lots of the basics. So the only thing that I have not showed is linking to text. And there's so many features of this. I could spend an hour or several hours going through all of these. Like you can insert a map, you can insert a calendar. These are very easy. Once you know the basics of how everything works, you should be able to figure out how to insert a YouTube video or these other insert a sheet if you want to. You can embed a form if you wanted to into your website. Okay, so there's lots of different options. But let's say you wanted to link to the pacing guide just by text and not use a button. So you can do that as well. You just highlight the text and then insert the link, and it will link to that text. So you can either link it to a PDF or a Google slide or a website, or you can link it to a page, and now that text is hyperlinked. Okay? So there's lots of different functionality with Google websites. They're amazing. Now, a couple little other things that I want to show you. You can add a logo right here in the corner, which makes it really nice. So it brings up your settings, and you can get to this by the cogwheel as well. You can upload a logo. So I just used our school logo. Okay, and then you can enter your site name right there if you wanted to. But that puts this in this little corner right here. It looks really cute. And then your navigation, you can either show the navigation at the top or you can show it along the side. So if you put it along the side, that gives you the menu that opens up along here instead. Okay. So when you are done with your site and preview it on different devices, make sure everything looks how you want it to, then you can publish it. So if I go to share with others, let me just show you some of the settings here. So you can add specific people to this, but if you click on links down here, there's two options. Draft options are for people that you want to be able to edit your site. So if you have a whole team that is working on the website, then you want to share that link with them so that they can edit. Maybe you want to restrict it to only people in your district with the link can edit. Okay? But typically, I would just keep that completely restricted so that you are the only one that is editing your website. So to publish your site, you can restrict it to your district or your domain, but then parents aren't going to be able to access it without having their student login. Outside people like tutors or whoever are not going to be able to access it. So I keep this on public. Okay, that's another reason why I make sure that some of my links that are to curriculum or paid subscriptions or stuff that is copyrighted is not shared with the public. But my website itself, I share with the public. Then what you can do after you publish it is you can request public search engines to not display my site. Okay, so they won't be able to search for it. They have to have the link for it. I've even tried to search for my website without having this selected, and I couldn't find it. So unless I typed in the exact address, I just couldn't find it. So either way, select that if you want to. Okay. All right, so now you can customize the back end of your website. So for me, I did Mrs. Graham, Fort Mill High School. And it's already taken because I have it, but you can change it to this, and then that will be the end of it. And let me just put demo on here. Okay, so I'm going to publish it. And then if you want to send this link out to students, or if you have a school website and you need to link to your teacher website, which is what I do, you are going to click on this link right here and copy your published link. So now I'm going to open up in an incognito window. So this would be to the public. Anybody can view this. I was actually on the Algebra 2 Honors page when I did that, when I copied it. So you're just going to want to share that with people. That way it opens up onto your home page. Okay. And then here's everything that we added. So here are the pictures. Here are the links. Right, pacing guide pulls up the pacing guide page. This also pulls it up. And again, they can still get to these. Well, they won't be able to get to this because see, it says to sign in. But they could watch my video if they wanted to learn about nth roots and rational exponents. So you can control it, what people have access to while still keeping the website public. So one other thing that I wanted to show you is that once you've published your website, you'll get a drop-down menu here, and there's different options. You can unpublish, view the published website, and review changes and publish. If you go to the publish settings, you'll now have this option, and you can change that to how you like it. I keep this checked because I want to make sure I'm reviewing the changes before I am publishing the edits that I have made. So I keep that selected. And then I just hit publish, and then if there's changes that have been made, let me make some changes. Hold on. Let's say I delete this button, and I go back, so it'll show the updated version. So here's the current version, here is my updated version, and then I can just click on publish, and it will publish my new edits that I have made. So anytime you want to make changes, add a new page or whatever, just make sure you republish the site and it just updates your website. So it's just a great tool to combine with Google Classroom, um, and gives your parents somewhere to go and gives you more control of how it looks visually. It just gives you a lot more options for displaying things, customizing it. Um, it just looks really nice. So, and again, you can still link to Google Classroom activities if you wanted to do that. You could even do like a table of contents with the week and all the assignments and linking to those assignments. Really, I think students need to know how to use Google Classroom. I think that is where some of the frustration comes, because they don't know to go to the classwork tab, or they don't know how to view their work and see their missing assignment report or whatever. So Google Classroom, I love. I think it's great, but this gives you just a way to organize that information if it helps with parents, especially at the younger level, the elementary school level. It could be very, very beneficial for parents to help their students if we have to continue e-learning or just in general. I think it just helps all all across the board. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to try to answer them. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and check out my video on embedding your slides without the navigation bar. So it shows you exactly how to embed those with and without the navigation bar. Thanks, y'all.